This is one of the most common questions I hear. Parents want to know whether Taekwondo will help their kids with focus and discipline. The short answer is yes, it will absolutely help with children's discipline and focus. But first I want to define what discipline is. It's doing things even though they can be difficult, you don't want to do them, right? So that's discipline. So at Taekwondo, we do a lot of things sometimes that are challenging. We do push-ups, we do a lot of hard kicks, we do a lot of cardio, we do lots of different things that are very challenging. Sometimes we even do things that are kind of scary, right? Because we're sparring other people or we're jumping and rolling. So we're doing different fun things, right? But they can sometimes also be scary, right? Sometimes we're standing up in front of class and we're demonstrating, or sometimes we're breaking boards, or we're doing pumse in front of class, right? So there could be lots of things that different people will find challenging or maybe scary. Sometimes you are a little bit tired from work or a little bit tired from school and you still come and train, right? So that's a regular practice of discipline, right? So that regular routine practice of doing something challenging that maybe you don't want to do, but you still do it anyway, is developing discipline. And then focus, the other thing that we do at Taekwondo that helps with focus is we do a lot of drills where you have to be paying attention. Because if you're not paying attention, then you're gonna, you're either gonna do the movements incorrectly, or in sparring case, you're gonna get hit, right? So it's a physical necessity to focus in Taekwondo. We also practice meditation in Taekwondo. But first, let me go back to the first point. So when you're practicing pumse, for example, which is a pattern of movements, right? You are having to focus on not only the memorization of the form of what you're supposed to do, but you're supposed to also focus on like what techniques and how to balance and where to turn and where to have your eyesight and how to do the movements and what comes next. So there's a lot of focus required when you're doing pumse. There's also a lot of focus required when you're doing sparring, right? When you're doing sparring, you're going up against somebody else and they're coming this way. If I get distracted and they're coming at me, they're gonna score on me, right? So you gotta stay focused on what's in front of you so that you don't get hit and you can block and defend yourself and then counter and score your own points, right? And then we also practice meditation. So meditation, we practice specifically mindfulness meditation, which is the intentional practice of bringing our attention to a specific thing, usually our breath here at Taekwondo Wellness. But it doesn't have to be your breath. It can be focusing on sounds, on things that you see, on sensations, it can be focusing on different things. But we typically, in the dojo, we typically do focusing on our breath. So meditation is intentionally focusing on something in the moment, so currently happening in the moment and without judgment. So that's sort of mindfulness meditation, right? So focusing intentionally on something in the moment without any judgment or criticism. So interestingly enough, the actual practice of meditation also not only helps our bodies calm down and our students and parents learn how to breathe, to calm their heart rates down, to relax and to calm down, but it also is a practice of attention or focus, right? So like when you're doing meditation and you're focusing on your breath, every time you get distracted by a thought or a sound or a sensation like sweat dripping down your forehead, right? The practice of meditation, what we're supposed to do, right, is just notice that our sweat's dripping down or we're distracted by a thought or a sound or whatever it is. And then without any judgment or criticism, just gently bring your attention back to your breath, right? So that repetition is practicing that focus muscle, right? So when you do that over and over again, when you're practicing meditation, you get distracted and you refocus. You get distracted and you refocus. You get distracted and you refocus. That every single time you do that repetition, you're focusing attention, which is what is going to allow your children to do is be in the classroom with children making distractions on the side and be able to notice they're distracted and then focus on the teacher, right? Or in the classroom, they're going to be able to get distracted by whatever it is and then refocus on what they're doing, right? And the more they're able to refocus on that, the stronger that attention becomes. So one last thing, Taekwondo is one of the few sports that intentionally teaches discipline and focus. And we do it very intentionally by defining it and then practicing it in every single class. So if you are looking to help your children or yourself, adults included, improve your discipline and improve your focus, please feel free to drop on by Taekwondo Wellness or visit a local Taekwondo school of your choosing in your neck of the woods, and look forward to the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.